Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Jenna Lee Show. I'm Jenny Long.
And I'm Celie Clark.
And we are
Jenna Lee.
Well, today we are at Elkins Elementary, and we are here with Emily Killen, and she is the Resource and Content Mastery teacher here, and she is doing some amazing things with class notebooks. So we're going to let her explain what she's doing, and you're going to be really excited.
All right, all of that and more coming up.
All right. Well, thank you, Emily, for being with us today. We're really excited, and you are doing some awesome things. Like, we're just blown away. And I don't think you know how awesome you really are. And these teachers are very fortunate to have you as a resource. But we've actually been here today working with the teachers and showing them the notebooks that Emily has created for her students, primarily 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And so she has created notebooks for them, and she has taken their assessments and added some audio recordings to them. So we were working with the gen ed teachers and showing them how they can utilize this resource as well. So Emily, tell us a little bit about how that's working in your classroom.
So it's working really well. A lot of my students have oral administration as an accommodation, and doing the paper pencil in a small group, they're very hesitant to ask to have the question and answer choices read more than once if they need it. So they don't. The classroom notebook I've found, the students are more apt at having the question and answer choices read more than once to them because it's independent and they're less self-conscious about it. So it really provides that independence for them and supports them on their level, and they are very confident and comfortable having it read more than once or however many times they need it.
Has there been a learning curve, or do the kids seem to get it first try, or how has that worked?
The kids are actually pretty quick. Once they learn it, you know, in the beginning I did let them play with all the features. I pointed out the features that I was going to allow them to use, like the draw and the highlight feature. I've let them record their reading so they can hear their own voice. But I tell them that there are so many other things that I will give them time to explore in time. But I've also given them the time to play around and kind of get that out of their system with the features that I will have them be using day to day.
Our brains need that, right?
Yes.
I need to play before I have to do something. So
I really like where you mentioned earlier about the progression of the computer voice to the human voice. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. So a lot of my students in research, the state has gone to a STAR Online test that's available, and a lot of my students can benefit from all of the accommodations that are on that. The research that I've read says that students need to have that human voice first before they hear a computerized, automated, digital type voice. So Ms. Rushing, who's my assistant, she records the question and answer choices on all the assessments, and so they listen to her voice, and then they also have practice through the STAR Online app for the digital voice so they can get used to it. But all the research shows that they need to get used to that human voice on a computer first before a digitized
And are you recording it by question? So is it like the question and then they click to hear the audio per question?
Yes.
Okay.
So if it's a 10-question test, she will record the question and the answer choice, and it'll just be one orange cone for each question, but it'll include the answer choices within that cone. So each question has its own cone.
And they're using the draw and markup tools as well, so they're highlighting and marking through and utilizing those
Yes,
tools.
we use that a lot in reading and writing to go back and use your strategies to show their proof. And in math they use the pencil feature or the draw feature to write down numbers and things like that so that they can pull that information out of the word problems.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
So what we did today is we came in and we were working with the gen ed teachers and getting them more familiar with what you've done, because it's mind-blowing, and it's really,
I'm telling you, it makes
it's
my
pretty
heart beat.
awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. And so next year, what is your goal? And I know this kind of came late in the game with the online testing and everything, but I know, in just kind of introducing it to them today, in next year, hopefully. How does that look for you next year?
My goal next year would be for the grade levels that want to utilize this, for them to set up their own class notebooks. And because I have to record most of the district assessments or all of the assessments for my students to have that oral accommodation, I will distribute that to a notebook that the teachers will have access to, and then it will be their job to distribute it to their students, but for them to learn and become more independent.
And that really is making it accessible for all students too,
Yeah.
just to have these tools.
Sharing
and not
is
just
caring.
Yes. And I like the quick grade feature too. You can quickly look to see if the student used their strategies right then and there. I had some students say I was finished. I said, well, let me look. And I didn't have to go and look at her computer directly. I went and just pulled it up on my end to see, okay, well, you need to go back and show your proof for number 2 or whatever question it was. So that was a really neat feature, and not having to look and bounce around my room.
And think of all the paper you're saving. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Like not having to run copies of packets and all of this. So
So
you're able to do it.
Are you just snapping pictures of passages, or are you uploading them with the PDF, or?
We're scanning it in through our copier, and it's saved as a PDF, and then I'm inserting it as a printout. I have learned that you have to set the document as the background picture, so that way when you distribute it, the kids can't accidentally delete the page when they click on a code.
That is a great
Yes.
tip.
Locks it, and then they can highlight
I
and
love
take
that.
over
I'm
it.
going to start doing that
Yes.
with my son. Okay, that's
And
great.
it's a whole lot easier to do the recordings too and drag the cone over once the document is locked, because then you're not competing with two different.
Yeah, trying to get it around.
Right.
Even especially on the app, because like even on the app, we've tried to maneuver, and I'm always stuck on the document. I can't get around it.
Right.
So it's a great tip.
Yes.
Well, Emily, you are pretty amazing, and we don't do this very often, but we have a cape for you today.
Aw.
So we are going to cape you as our OneNote Avenger. We only have one other person in the district that we have given one of our sacred capes to. So we are so excited about what you're doing here at Elkins, and we hope that this passion just continues to light a fire across the district, because it's pretty awesome, and we appreciate all that you're doing. So.
Thank you. I'm glad that y'all came to train the other teachers, so it'll help.
All right.
Great.
All right.
All right, well, that's all for today. And if you want any more information on setting up a class notebook or adding in the audio, we can definitely work with you and your staff and your students as well. So thanks for joining. Have a great day.
Bye.